Welcome to Romance Recap. We're discussing and dissecting, reviewing, and recapping romance TV short Charlotte and the Seven Frat Brothers on CandyJar TV. I am Liz Donatelli.
And I'm Tiffany Current.
Be sure to subscribe to Reader Seeks Romance channel so that you don't miss new episodes of Romance Recap on YouTube and all podcast apps. Charlotte and the Seven Frat Brothers, what are your initial thoughts?
This was actually a lot of fun. I within the first minute, I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous. I guess it's like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs or something or other. Yeah. I thought it was so fun because it was so silly. And there were like, I don't know, 20 twists and turns. I didn't know what direction this thing was going in. And I should say it's not a short. It's like 2 hours. It's like 2 hours long. That was the biggest surprise. I'm like, this is 2 hours. I was like, what else is happening in this?
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it though. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. And this, I should point out, is the first of the CandyJar shorts that we have watched that does not include actor Joseph Purcell.
That's interesting. That's a good
But did you notice who was in there from Private Lessons was also in Charlotte and
the blonde boy.
Chris,
yes.
Whose name you can never remember.
I saw him. I'm like, oh, that's the boy. Look, this was just like, I want to just quickly just talk about the beginning. This girl shows up in like a bandana. I'm like, is she Cinderella? And she's dragging these suitcases, these huge suitcases, which are clearly totally empty, down a sidewalk. And she's like, oh, I think there's been a mistake. My name's Charlotte. I'm moving into your frat house. You're like, no, we're looking for Charlie. And she's just like, I'm Charlotte. Just let me inside. It was such a ridiculous, just such a fast opener and setup of like this girl. There was a mix-up, and now she's gonna move into this frat house with all these brothers. Yeah. It was kind of fantastic. Fantastic.
It was, and you know what I have to say, she mentions later on kind of a little bit about what happened and how a mix-up occurred and she got placed in this dorm to live. These are really tightly plotted romance shorts. They're all so tightly plotted that I had no questions by the end of this, at least pertaining to plot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, oh, hey, like there was a mistake. They're like, come on in.
Come in, you're living with us now. It was one of them, which will be her love interest, Chase, was like against it. He was playing a little hard. Like he's just like, no, I'm brooding and I don't like you and you can't stay here.
It's nice to meet you.
In case you haven't noticed, this is a frat. It's against Pan-Hellenic policy for girls to sleep over, let alone live here.
He was a little too hard for me, like his whole acting.
I thought it worked for what it was. Like I thought it worked. We've been introduced now to a new actor in the CandyJar universe. Yes. The guy who plays Chase, his name is Jesse Katz, and the actor who plays Charlotte, Charlie or Charlotte is Bella Walker. And does she not look like Chappell Roan?
She does a little bit. I will say she does a little bit for me, but it's more so just, I feel like every scene she was wearing that bandana, like every scene she was wearing that bandana.
It was the whole quirky, sunshine girl coming into the lives of these supposedly really disgusting guys. I don't know. There was like intimate things on the lawn. Wasn't there a prophylactic on the lawn or something? Or in some
I don't know. It was like so strange.
Sex den.
It was a sex den. What I thought was funny is like, of course, Chase, the president, he's like, you can't stay here, but you could just stay here for the night, then get out. And then she's like, you know what? I'm going to just make this really fancy dinner. And she goes and she makes this crazy elaborate dinner. And I kept thinking, how are you affording this? You have to live with 7 guys. That's how broke you are. And she somehow went out and got this meat and salad and this and that. And was it in the suitcase? Like, where did the food come from? Where is this food coming from?
It was in the empty suitcase. She's magical, like Snow White. She's
magical.
Although even Snow White was not that magical. Like, I don't think she just, she must have gone to the forest and gathered the ingredients.
She got the apple. Yeah, I don't know.
She got the apple. But, Charlie, Charlie. I don't know what. all of a sudden it's like what does she have, like these cheese balls, like fried
Yes.
cheese balls and
Yes.
salad, and Chase is like, no, I don't want it. You got to get out of here, sister, because the frat could be closed. Like there was a
Yeah.
rule that the
There's
frat
a
couldn't
rule.
have girls staying
Women.
overnight.
Yeah.
And we should mention Chase's father is like a
Yes.
dean and
A
over,
dean of the school or something.
yeah,
I don't know.
and he could
Something.
shut down the frat. And I guess, but I didn't understand because Chase also was using his savings to run the frat, and I didn't understand that.
I feel like you're overthinking it and it's not supposed to make sense because it
Okay,
didn't make
okay, all
sense.
right. Because towards the end, like
Um,
there becomes more of a plot storyline about saving the frat.
yes, later on it is, but in the
Yeah.
beginning he has this once again, there's a guy with a magical credit card who just gives it to anybody who asks. Oh, you
Yes,
need money? Here's my credit card. Here's my credit card. Is this the day and age we're living in where anyone just gives you a credit card and you just use it? It was very strange.
apparently. Again, let's recap all of the tropes that we've noticed in Candy Jar. Is one, some dude is always giving over his credit card to somebody,
Yes.
usually
Yes.
to a woman. Pool parties,
Pool parties,
usually darts.
darts.
Because wasn't there was darts in this?
There was darts. Usually it's a geeky girl, popular boy type of situation.
Yeah.
Something happens.
D- Dead parent. Oh wait,
Dead
no,
parent.
wait. I don't think they had a dead parent. Wasn't her mom?
Her
Wait,
mother was dead.
mother is dead. Yes,
Once again, it's the mom. The
dead
mom was dead.
mom.
Dead mom.
Dead
Dead
moms
mom.
are hot on on Candy Jar
There were
TV.
a lot of tropes in it. She ends up being allowed to stay because I guess she also makes them breakfast and that wins them
Yes.
over. And it's
Yeah.
and it's this really complicated plot where they're like, we have this big event coming up. We're gonna do like Boys in the Buff where they're gonna be catering something and they need someone to cook. So they're like, if she'll be our chef, then she can stay. It's kind of an overcomplicated situation.
But because it was overcomplicated
Yeah.
in a sense, it also seemed real. Because I feel
Yeah.
like in reality, in real life, yeah, it's going to be kind of complicated. So I was able to buy in, and I thought it did make sense overall. As this show goes on
Yeah.
into its what hour and a half mark, I
I
was
don't
like,
know.
I
Two
don't
hours,
know.
yeah.
There's just a lot going on now. Like I stopped taking notes at one point.
There
Um,
was a lot that happened. There's
yeah,
also a girlfriend of the main guy
yes.
Chase. Her name is Reagan. And she, of course, she's kind of a mean girl as well. And she doesn't like that Charlotte's living there. There's a lot of random people. There's a random person named Wolf.
Wolf.
The names in this. The names in this. I underline it. Wolf. Like, whose name is Wolf? It was cracking
Oh,
me up.
you know what? I wonder if it was supposed to be like, oh no, there's no wolf in Snow
But
White.
exactly. That's why
Yeah,
it
I
was
don't know.
weird. It's not Little Red Riding Hood. I was like, Wolf.
Maybe they were trying to inject some more fairy tale.
But it's funny. I mean, maybe because we do see her sitting outside at one point with an apple next to her. Did you see that? At one point, she was sitting
Oh my
outside
God,
and
you're
there was an
right.
apple. There was an apple. So it's like a couple different things were happening there. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It
Oh,
was fun though. Like
it
every single
was.
time I thought I knew where it was going, it's like, nope, we're gonna randomly have like something else happen.
Yeah.
It
And then
was so
it would get
sweet.
serious though. Like, you're right. It would get silly and fun. And then it would be like, oh, Boys in the Buff is to raise money for a charity so kids have access to school lunches. And you're like, oh, wow, that's
Like
deep. And then
that's
he's like,
nice.
oh, Wolf. Yeah, he's known for drugging girls' drinks. I was like,
Yes.
what?
And she's like, the school's fine with it? Yeah, because his dad's a big donor. I'm like, this is getting into deep politics, guys. Like, what's happening in Candy Jar screenwriting class? This is getting deep,
It
son.
was, yes, yes.
I was like, man, they're going hard in it. It was it
Yeah.
was very strange. The wolf situation was very strange. Of course, there's an original rule where Chase is like, she can stay, but none of the guys can touch her. And then, of
Yes.
course, later on, he's the one that touches her. They fall for each other. There's some making out that happens. People get jealous.
Building on the jealousy comment you mentioned,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
this other guy, Everett, who's the
Yes.
treasurer of the frat. So that's going to be a problem eventually.
Yes.
He's always like he's like the ladies' man
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's always has girls over and Chase refers to him as always wanting conquests. And so Everett sets his
And
sights on
Charlotte.
Charlotte, and he's like, but I really like you. And then when he finds Chase is with Charlotte, he like loses his shit.
He's
And
furious.
and then he starts doing things, and then he's like, and Chase is just running things with an iron fist, and we should all have a say in things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but dude, he's bankrolling this operation, so
He
he
is.
should
It's his
have a
money.
say. He should be
He should have a
calling
say.
shots.
Can I just say, once again, this is another trope. Another trope with CandyJar is that we see them make out, like Charlotte and Chase make out in the shower, and music comes on, and it's very like, I wrote it down. It said, I will give up all my money. The song was like, I'll give up all my money for you.
Take a shower with me. I would give up all my money. I would trade all of my gold.
And I was like, whoever is doing the music in this, though,
I need to know
whoever
more.
is doing the music is just on it.
Yeah.
On it. I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
There is so much right with every one of these shows that CandyJar TV produces. There's
Yes.
so much right. Yeah, that's why we're able to overlook, awkward
How
moments
silly it is. Yeah.
or things like the overacting that Chase's dad does.
Oh my God.
At one
But it's
point,
funny.
At one point, he sounds like just truly irritated with Chase. Since birth, he's like, you were 2 weeks past your due date, kept me and your mother waiting. It's like, oh my God, he's still holding on to that.
It was very funny. And Chase was like, I already apologized for that. I'm like, you did?
Why?
I was like, that's a serious issue. At some point, they're getting ready for this big event. They're all in their chef outfit, and they're like, yes, chef. Yes, chef. And I'm like, are they giving homage to that chef show? It was very
the bear?
strange. To the bear. It was
Yeah.
because they're just like, yes, chef. And I was like, this is weird. This is weird.
Yeah, well, did you think that was weirder though than the random neon pool party or something that they
It was
hosted where
strange.
she made fancy hors d'oeuvres? I don't even
Let's talk
understand why
about
they were
that.
yeah.
So they were having a pool party at the frat house, and he literally says, like, salmon and beer doesn't really go. And I was like, yeah, that's true. It doesn't. Why are you making, she was making a salmon dish
Yeah.
for a frat party.
But I
Like,
thought
that makes zero sense.
she gave a clever answer though. She's like, well, maybe you need to buy better beer. I thought that was actually
Liz,
I thought that was a good response.
absolutely. At a frat party, fish?
Well,
Fish.
yeah. Well, but wait, was it
Fish.
like just like out there and cooked, or was it like in something?
So what's interesting is that they said salmon, but then later on, Everett said that it was a crab cake. So I don't know if this was like a whole, I don't know if it was like a salmon crab cake, or if it was like they had multiple fish dishes.
Okay.
I don't know.
What?
But either way,
Going heavy on the
not right.
fish dishes, and it looked like it was summer or like warm out, right?
It was hot out and they had fish. So I actually agree, like, yeah, at a frat party, not have fried food, that's fine, or have chicken or have protein, but don't have fish. I was like, that's gross, guys.
And
That's
she
gross.
she just had it out on a tray, which
On a
means that they
tray.
weren't temperature controlled salmon and crab, bites. So it's like, well, I found that whole scene unnecessary. They should have
Yeah.
cut that out to bring down the running time to
They
something
could have cut it out.
manageable.
Later on, the dad gets a tip that there's a girl living there, and I found that to be so funny. He goes over to the house. He's like, I'm gonna prove there's a girl here. And he starts going through the house and opening drawers. And each time he finds something, I guess, girl-like,
Yeah.
the guys say something. He's like, what's this pink lipstick? He's just like, what? Men can't wear pink? Men
Yes.
can't wear lipstick?
Yeah.
And then like he pulls a vibrator. Remember, he pulls the vibrator out of the
Yes.
door, and they're just like, he's a good lover. He likes to support women. And I was like what? It's
I
very
thought that
fun.
was a great scene, though. I thought that
It
was
was
a
cute.
fun scene. I thought it was humorous.
Yeah.
He pulled out tampons, the father, and they were like, oh, they
Tampons.
use it for like nosebleeds and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So I really enjoyed the relationship between Charlotte and Aaron. Was his name Aaron or Darren?
Which one was
Darren.
Darren?
They had
He
like
was the
this
best actor.
brother-sister
Yeah.
relationship. And
Yeah.
there was another story with him trying to woo a
Yes.
girl
Yes.
and Charlotte trying to help him. Like there was a lot of story.
There were like C storylines, D storylines,
Storylines, yeah.
E storylines. Like there's a random thing with these German guys all of a sudden. It's like, what? Like there's so many storylines.
There are.
And it worked. Of course, they end up getting found out, and she confronts the dad on Chase's behalf. And basically, they come to an agreement that if she moves out, the dad won't tell. It kind of wrapped it all up in a bow. And more importantly, she gets into some cooking school. I guess that's her whole goal of going to a culinary school.
Yeah. Yeah, which is part of so that ties back to why there was this mix up or why she wasn't
Yeah.
able to secure housing earlier.
In the first place, yeah.
Right. Is because she and her best friend, which I guess there's a story there too, both applied to this culinary school. The friend got in and she got waitlisted. There was this whole thing about then Chase encouraging her to like go to this culinary school. Meanwhile, he's dealing with the fact that Oxford wants him to go to school there for grad school.
I was
and the
like,
father's like, oh, I'm
no.
accepting on his behalf. I was like, okay. That's not how it works, dude.
There were so many things that were going on.
Yeah.
As we said, it tied it up in a neat little bow. It was just so enjoyable from the beginning to the end because of how ridiculous it went in without being apologetic. It's like, we're going to just throw these things out there. She's
Yeah.
going to just be making random foods all of a sudden. And it just worked.
Yeah,
it just worked.
It did. And I think we should probably talk about the scene in which Chase is making the world's saddest sandwich.
I haven't been avoiding you. I've been busy.
Right, making the world's saddest sandwiches.
What's wrong with ham and cheese?
At some point, she walks in and him making like, I don't know, like a ham sandwich on white bread or something. And she says, no, let me help. That's the saddest sandwich ever. Let me help. And I thought she's going to pull out some tomatoes, some lettuce, add some seasoning. She like pulls out like, I don't know, ketchup?
She pulls out mustard.
She just pulls out condiments,
mustard, and I swear it looked like either hot sauce or sriracha.
I don't know what it was. She pulled it randomly out of a cabinet, and I thought, that's how you're gonna make it a good sandwich? It was so weird. It was so weird.
It was weird because, and what's funny is I also was focusing on this. I was like, oh, she's going to transform it.
Yes.
She's going to start grilling up onions.
Yes.
I don't know. She's going to get a nice, like, fresh baked
She's going to find bacon somewhere. And yeah, she's going to get a baguette, whatever. I don't know. Something.
Yeah, and then she hands it back. I was like, now it's a sadder sandwich.
Now it's just a ham on white bread with the ketchup. And I was like, this is just gross.
I don't. What?
It was, but we never saw him eat it. The whole point is I kept waiting to see him taste it to be wowed, and I don't think we ever got to see it.
That would have, no, he didn't.
And he just spits it out like, oh.
Yeah. I did like how they played his whole grumpy demeanor and how he organically started to slowly, come around and show that he was a caring, decent guy. Because a lot of times with these types of he's the grump and he's brooding. It's like all of a sudden, like that, he's not. But
changed,
this was actually a very organic character arc.
Burn. Yeah, it was.
And then she had that whole wolf situation at the bar that, Chase is like, stay away, he drugs women. After that was like the turning point, and then she got sick and he's rubbing her back, and he took care of her. I thought that was great. Yeah.
It was a nice turn. He was still too gruff for me the whole time.
Yeah.
But it was just fun. It just worked.
I liked his voice a lot. I liked his voice, his deep, I thought it was.
You need to leave. I'd say pack your bags, but looks like you already got that covered.
He wasn't my favorite. He just wasn't my favorite.
We got spoiled with Joseph Purcell.
We did. We got spoiled by that like soft mumbling.
Nothing. We're just nothing.
I was like, I can understand everything this dude is saying, and it's killing the mood.
You're like, you gotta mumble to make it sexy. He was fine. I will say this is another good pick. It was too long, but it was very enjoyable.
It was, and I'd like to mention a little bit about the ending, which I thought was cute because I thought he was going to ask her to marry him.
Yes.
Um,
I thought so too. And I was like, please don't do
yeah,
this.
I was like,
You're
oh
like
God,
20.
no. Did all the guys in the house prepared a meal, or
They
did
prepared a meal for her.
Chase
Yep,
prepare?
exactly.
And they set at a table, and then Chase is in a suit with flowers, and he's like, Charlotte, will you? And I'm like, oh my God. But he
I
says,
know.
will you be my girlfriend? And I
Yeah,
was
it
like,
was
well,
cute.
that's sweet.
That was good because I too was concerned about the marriage proposal. I'm like, not everything needs to be in marriage. But I was like, all right, girlfriend, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
And she was like, I accept.
Yeah. It was.
It was cute. It was cute. It was cute. I was like, all right.
Oh, did you say that the villain's name was Reagan? I put Raven.
Oh
What was
shoot.
the name?
It probably was Raven because I remember something being silly. It probably was Raven. We have to look it up.
Okay.
Because they had Wolf and they had something. Maybe it was Raven.
I
I don't
I
know.
have Raven, and I put down in my notes that she is a nuanced villain, not as
Mm,
in your face as the
yes.
mustache twirling villains of the other movies. And I actually was able to kind of see her point of view because up until
Yes.
that point, she had been the girl in their lives who would cook for them and do things and take
Yeah.
care of, play video games with them. And Raven was, passive aggressive. And, is she the one who told the dean or something that,
She is the one, but it was as you saw a slow burn. In the beginning,
yeah,
she was not that way. She's just like, who's this girl living with you? Which is
right.
fair. And then slowly over time, there's enough stuff where she got jealous and then she kind of took the turn, but it was a slow burn to a villain.
Right. And I actually appreciated that nuance. She wasn't just like this big baddie, over the top
Yeah.
person. I was like, you know what? I hope we see that actor who plays Raven
Yeah, she
in
was good.
another movie where she gets her happily ever after. Well, that's all we got for you. Tune in next time when we crack open the candy jar to discuss another sinfully sweet romance short only on Romance Recap.